Hello, my name is Visor, and welcome to Game 8 of Let's Play Game Dev Tycoon. Last episode, we did our big bet, and it was going to pay off huge. But this episode, we're going to do something a little different. On August 29th, the game was updated for the Steam release, and a bunch of new things were added. We're going to go over a few things that I find interesting, and it's going to take us a while before we actually get into the development of the game. Plus, since the last game went so well, the game's going to change a little bit, and a bunch of new options are going to open up to us. So, since they rebalanced the game, some of the data we collected in the past are not going to be useful anymore. That's unfortunate. But we'll be able to collect a lot of new data due to the new features they added. Anyway, let's get started. This is definitely new. Before, when I played through to get the sales figures for A Barnacle's Tale, this didn't come up. Now, these could just be features, but I almost think this and a few other things they added is sort of a comment on how Game Dev Tycoon is kind of a bad user experience. A lot of information is hidden from the player, and you don't get a lot of feedback. And the tutorials they have are kind of mediocre, honestly. Yeah, they get a little quick message, but they don't really explain the deep nitty-gritty. Granted, the nitty-gritty is part of the fun for me anyway, so I guess it works out for me. I mean, this is why I'm collecting data. There's just a lot that you don't know about this game. On the plus side, something that's really cool now is you can generate a game report for some of your previous games. So for example, if we do a research on Crass Effect, we might learn, what's wrong with it, what was good about it, stuff like that. Actually, what might be more interesting right now is to research Milliways, since that game definitely did not turn out too well. As you can see, A Barnacle's Tale is doing really well, and it's going to get us a lot of our early sales records. What's really going to change everything, though, is... well, not this report. This is going to change everything. We're going to move to a nice new office, and we're going to have a lot more room for more activities, specifically more help. We can finally hire some people to do some of the work for us. So let's move there. Here's the game report of Milliways. According to our game report, we learned UFO and strategy is a great combo, which we did already know. Gameplay is very important in this type of game, and the genre match was bad. Apparently, TES and strategy is not a good combo. However, everyone in TS is good. Though I'm not sure exactly what the categories here are. Is it bad, good, great? Or is it bad, meh, good? Don't know yet. But we'll have to collect all this data somehow. I'm actually not sure where I'm going to fit it on my current display, but we'll figure something out. Anyway, let's get back to the fact that we have a new office now. With the new office, now we can hire people. We first needed to learn how to be a manager. So we'll just read a book on it, and that should do. So let's do some research about... no, not research. We're going to do some training on how to hire staff. And look over here. Here are our 4 stats. And 3 of them are pretty self-explanatory. I get design, technology, and speed. I'm not sure what research does. Does it increase my research speed? Does it change what I can actually research? I don't know yet. But we can improve our stats by reading these books. Alright, we're in the news again, and I guess we're leaving our mark on gaming history. But other than that, this is just all flavor text and doesn't really mean anything. Now, while we are reading, we can't do anything else. That's why I kind of want to hire somebody else, because I think we need more topics. We're getting kind of stagnant. Plus, there's just so much more stuff to research now. One guy can't do everything. So as soon as this finishes, we're going to hire one person. I just want to start it nice and simple so we don't rack up a huge debt for no reason. Plus, I haven't actually played around this part of the game that much, so I'm not actually sure what's going to happen. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, now I really only want to hire one person, so I don't think we need to increase the budget too much. Yeah, I think that's enough. Now, the way I believe this works is if you select complex algorithms, you're going to get somebody who is more tech-focused. However, if you select showreel, you'll get somebody who's more design-focused. Game demo, of course, is a mix of both. While this is happening though, let's research something else. Now we have a lot of things we could research. Some of this though, I believe dialogue, level design, and gameplay, these are all engine features. So we could research this, but we can't actually use any of this until we make a new engine. So that's something farther down the line. Let's look into topics. As you notice, they sort of changed the display a little. I'm not really sure why. This doesn't really make it any more clear to me, but whatever. So what I want to do is every episode, I want to pick a topic to research, because otherwise our game choices become stagnant. After all, we know the genre and topic combo is huge, so we need to get a good pool of topics going. Romance game could be interesting. I know somebody was interested into some sort of Harlequin romance game. Let's do that. I kind of wish you could select multiple of these at one time, but you can't. So we're gonna have him start researching. Yeah, so the G64 is losing market share now. Eventually we're gonna start developing for the PC. Yada, yada, yada. More news. Yeah, now this is kind of interesting, though this front page is just all flavor text. And they're like, oh, look at these two games. I like how they completely skipped over Milliways. Yeah, I guess Milliways really didn't do too well. And apparently our fans are surprised that we just moved out of a garage. That's cool. Alright, looks like we have two candidates. And strangely enough, they're both kind of tech heavy. I thought it would be more balanced than this. Overall though, I don't think their stats are that far apart, so I might just hire the one that's cheaper. Though I'm assuming at some point our staff's going to ask for raises and stuff, so in the end it might not matter. We'll start out doing something simple, because really, I just want the second person to research stuff and give me some experience with training a new staff member. So this guy, well, employees in general have an efficiency bar. Actually, I have one as well. Again, this is another feature that I don't know how we're going to work into the data display, but we'll figure something out. I believe efficiency goes down when they try to do something big, but I'm not sure what happens when it hits rock bottom. Do they fail or what? But first, I want to train this person up. Okay, so a barnacle tail is off the market and it made $2.3 million. Cool. However, this also means we wasted all this time setting up and we need to get a game going. Anyway, I'm going to have him generate a game report on Crass Effect. This is mainly because I don't know how efficiency works yet, but her efficiency is too low right now for me to risk it. Instead, I'll have her do a game report and develop a game with the main character. Now, the game idea that I want to use is from Seiji Hiko. He suggests a post-apocalyptic RPG where you play someone who represents the government or maybe a bank before the world ended, and you're trying to restore the old order. It's going to be called Bailout. And I think this idea is kind of interesting because, well, usually those games work as you playing the underdog, not you playing the old system. Plus, it would be interesting to see whether a post-apocalyptic RPG works well on the TES. So let's try that out. Let's pick our platform. Ah, this seems very cool. Look at all this new stuff they added. So I guess based on our game report, we gain new stuff here. So strategy is definitely not good. Ah, this is cool. I really like this. They made this a lot better. Maybe we don't need to add a lot of information to our display then. Maybe this will be the way to go. In terms of market share, it's still the TS is doing great. There's a chance post-apocalyptic won't work out very well, but what are you gonna do? We need to learn, right? So let's make Bailout. Topic is gonna be post-apocalyptic. Genre is gonna be RPG. TES. We only have that one game engine though, so pretty straightforward. Start developing that. Looks like making the game report. Story quest gameplay. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm okay with that. Look at that. Making the game report also generates research points. Sci-fi RPG great combo. Storyline quest. Good. Everything is just as good. I really want to know if this is supposed to be great. So I guess when we were making the game, it did have E++, so maybe that's how you determine how good something is. And look, the efficiency didn't go down for her, so I could make her do another game report, or we can get her to do some training. Look at these effects unknown. Oh, I love these devs. They made the game so much better now. I don't have to collect this crap. I just needed to do it one time. That's awesome. Let's do the special welcoming training. I don't know what it does. Maybe it'll make her happy or something. Because we need that efficiency to be up before we do anything special. So, the Game Boy is coming out, or the Gameling. I don't know if I want to do games for that. Because we have a game engine right now, it's for consoles. I don't really know if I want to fuck around with that. I'm kind of happy with it, you know? Anyway, we'll see what we do. Okay, so far, our mix is really heavy on design. But I think that's okay in an RPG. I'll be honest, there's some things I do worry about because I pretty much make an RPG the same way I make an adventure game. And while they're similar, I'm assuming the game treats them differently. So there has to be a difference between the two. But really, neither of them need heavy AI, so... Well, we got a lot of new stuff in this episode anyway. We'll try to play around with that later on. Oh, look, her efficiency's still going up. So when does efficiency go down? Does it have to be a certain type of game that causes it to go down? You know, let's change it around. Let's make it heavy on sound. I don't know. Maybe terrible, maybe good. Oh, they also show you your level on this graphics. So my experience with graphics, you know, when I played before, was as you get levels in a set type of graphics, once you go beyond level 3, you can start researching the next tier of graphics, like 3D or something. Though I don't know whether getting more than 3 levels in a type of graphics benefits you or not. I just don't know what it does. So, I didn't tell her to do anything. Did she just automatically start working on the game? Or did she just sort of sit there? Because I don't remember picking who could work on the game. We did not get a new record in technology. Unfortunate. But maybe we'll still do decently well. And look, this is another new feature that I noticed. Basically, you can change the name of the game before you release it. I'm not sure what difference that makes, but it's nice to have. Oh, I guess we were all working on it. Huh. But then she did partial time, so how does that factor in? Very curious about how all this works. Oh, look at our monthly cost. It's now 41K. Now, from what I understand, Kelly cost 9K. So I guess the new office must cost around 32K. Quite an increase from our 8K before. Still, let's see how it does. This is not as good as her last game. Not terrible, but definitely not as good as her last game. I still wonder how the efficiency bar works. Because her efficiency's full now, so I guess that's useful for next episode. But I thought it would go down if she did any work. Anyway, while we wonder about that, let's see how well Bailout did. Alright, so Bailout did not work out well. And I think the problem is probably with the platform. Or possibly the mix of young with post-apocalyptic. That might be a bit over their head. But now we know, and we won't do this type of mix again on the TES. Instead, this will be something we do on the PC or the G64, depending on how poorly the G64 is doing. But we made at least some money, and we're probably not too negative, after we include staffing costs. We'll just have to do better next time. Plus, there's still so many more things to try out, so I'm excited. But until then, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.